About why women stay. I stayed because I didn't have self-worth. I stayed because I was depressed. I was down. My self-esteem was down. I stayed because I wasn't a full woman. I wasn't 100% when I was in a relationship. I was working with only 20% of myself. So you asking me to leave something and I don't even have the self-worth? When you continuously getting wronged by a man, your self-worth depletes. Depletes without you even knowing it. When I went into a relationship, I was a bad bitch. But when I stayed up in it, that is my bad bitch mentality. My self-esteem, it started disappearing on me, and it silently disappeared on me. My self-worth started to disappear. And at that moment, I was just stuck and accepting it. It was just like, wow. And it could be some arrogance. How can this man do me like this? I am so good to this man. I do this. I do this. I do this. I do this. I am so good to him. Why don't he love me? And it was my ego and my diminished self-worth and self-esteem that made me stay with him.
I think a lot of us ignore red flags for the comfortability of having somebody.
Yep.
And
absolutely.
And I can change him. The red flag. We drink too much. We can make adjustments. He lied about little. We can make adjustments. He said he lived with his mom, but they're not together. We can make those adjustments.
I mean, he only hits me on Tuesday. I'm gonna get my ass beat on Tuesday. It's fine.
We be wanting to make we literally be making the excuses trying to make these adjustments, and I think it's because once we give ourselves and our energy and even our bodies to somebody,
I've said this before and I'm gonna say it again. I've said in different parts of different videos I've done in the past, and the truth is that there are many times that we get into relationships with people we thought one way. Even those of us who are in the church community, we marry somebody who's a believer, somebody who's even a leader, somebody who is on fire for Christ and is a man of God. All the stuff will bring you to Jesus. Okay, like they will make the room shake. So you have one version of that person. They have the mask on. See, that's what I'm talking about. I usually try to hone on this. There are some of us who will get into it, right, with one version of a person or a version of a person that they show to the world sometimes. And there's the version when the mask come off that a lot of times only the people who are closest to them see it and know it and realize it. And the fact that that type of narrative and pattern for them works for them in different settings, they're unwilling to see it, unwilling to compromise, unwilling to consider any type of compromise. Or I'm hesitant to say change. Gina Chumesi here, your favorite psych nurse practitioner, coming at you again with when the masks come off. Recognizing red flags in toxic relational dynamics that can really leave additional layer of trauma to you. So in this videos, I put some clips here, perspective, people experiences, and how good relationships can turn dangerous, even to some point where some women and even children get unalived, get abandoned, get neglected, get abused. And these are the realities that a lot of people are walking through day to day. The perpetrators are a lot of times men, but there's a little majority where it's the reverse. And there's such a thing also as reactive abuse, and you got to look that up, because sometimes after a while of absorbing, some women, majority of the time, might start to, because you're just like, cup is overflowing. But the thing is, when you see it, when you see the change, when the mask come off, what you do in that time, how you recover, how you save yourself and save your kiddos by walking away, running away safely, and safeguarding yourself with a safe community is what is important. But recognizing and knowing that people change, that people switch up, that just because somebody is from a certain family, just because somebody is from the church, or just because somebody is a believer, just because somebody is in some type of career type, that because somebody present themselves a certain way, that because somebody dresses a certain way, smells a certain way, just because somebody talks a certain way, that's because somebody comes off as being super friendly, very charming, because a lot of those people can also be very very charming. They know how to work the room, how to make people be charismatically attracted to them just because of the aura, the energy they exude. But once you step the wrong way for them, and because of the fact that they're unwilling to see their part, or there's no accountability or empathy, there is not such thing, their narrative or how they present, or how they show up in this world. And when you recognize that and you think you can change, you can do hey, no, save yourself and run. Okay, bye.
Why men might change during the course of a marriage. Here's her theory.
Have you ever asked why your husband is radically changed? Why he seems like a completely different person than he was in the early days of marriage? Have you desperately sought out the perfect things for you to say or do that will get this marriage back on track, that will get him back on track, that will maybe be the cure, marriage counseling or a couples retreat, or maybe a change in meds? Now, certainly trauma, grief, mental health issues, illness, injury, so many things can cause us to be and act totally differently. But sometimes people's masks get too heavy and they fall off and they reveal who they really are.
I've always been called unromantic for this. People often say that actions are a good indicator of character, and I don't agree. Do not think they can be used as an indicator when it comes to dating, courting, any sort of romantic relationship, because that person is showing you what they want you to see because they want something from you. I've said this before, but there is nothing more telling about a person than how they treat someone or something if they don't have anything to gain from it. How they treat strangers, how they talk about people when they're not there in the room. Those are all great indicators of character, more so than an act of chivalry in my opinion. It is just way too easy to feign goodness in a romantic relationship. It's a hard world out here. Be safe out here. Peace and love to you.
Never ever remain with a man who does not allow you to contact whomever you want. It is a very unpleasant thing. He controls you, and once he controls you, your life isn't your own anymore. And that's what controlling people do, is isolate you. So the minute they start chopping off people out of your life, that is red flag number.
The more you do for a man, the more he will resent you. When they are down and you try to lift them up, he will resent you for it because he sees you as above him. They will envy you for doing for them what they couldn't do for themselves. This is why you don't build no man. Women have lost their lives, literally, trying to hold a man down and build him and give him some confidence, some money, somewhere to stay, a car to drive. Women have lost their lives. So women, stay in your femininity. Just exist. Don't build them. Because when he reaches his full potential, when he reaches his prime years, his 40s, his 50s, or whenever he come into a significant amount of money, if he win a lottery, baby, he going for his dream girl. I was watching a show a couple weeks back where this woman played the lottery. She was married. She played the lottery, I think won $20 million. She split the lottery ticket with her husband. You know what he did? He left her for a younger woman. And you know what the younger woman ended up doing? He actually ended up sleeping with her sister. This man was disloyal, totally corrupt. He ended up sleeping with her sister, and her boyfriend unalived him. This is a true story. But before the money, he was a hard worker at a postal service, a mailman, a faithful man. But when money came into the picture, it changed him. And that's the reason why a lot of men are still in their woman life, is because they haven't touched their prime years. They haven't touched some money yet. But you will see. And even the lady, the wife who wanted the lottery, she said, I wish I would have never won because I lost my husband. It destroyed my marriage. I didn't know he was going to change. So here she is, she done won 20 million. And she wanted her marriage, her husband, but he didn't want her no more. He felt like he could do better than her. And it cost him his life. And so this is why I tell women, don't build him. If his life ain't together, that should be an automatic turnoff.
You're in an abusive relationship and you can recognize that yourself. That's, I think, step one, like being able to say to yourself. But then you need to start building a community. You need to tell a friend, tell your mom, tell your sister, whoever it is, and let them come alongside you and start being okay with the fact that you need out. You know, and it is going to cost you money, and it is going to cost you friendships. It's going to cost you relationships. It's going to cost you your house, you know, like all of these things. And I know that it's scary, but it will be so worth it when you're on the other side.
There's a very specific fear that is involved in leaving that only those of us who have gone through it understand. I endured extreme physical abuse, verbal and emotional as well. Leaving isn't something you do when you get in a fight and you go, I'm leaving, or we're done. It doesn't work like that in these types of situations. We're not afraid that they're going to get mad at us. We're actually terrified that they are going to physically harm or take our lives or the lives of people that we love when we leave. You actually have to plan and prepare to leave. And you have to hide money, and you have to... You have to be really smart about the way you leave, because it could cost you your life or your children's lives. I get really emotional talking about this because no matter how much healing you do, no matter how much time you spend away from them, there's a very specific fear that is involved in leaving that only those of us who have gone through it understand. Once we leave, there is no going back. And many of us find ourselves on special programs to keep us hidden from them finding us. And we just feel like we're on the run for the rest of our lives. If you are one of those people in that circumstance, sign up for my texts and text me so that I can let you know what I did and how I got out. And I love you.